Welcome to Freedom After 40, the show for Gen Xers ready to create income online, escape the 9 to 5, travel the world, and live life on your terms. Here's your host, Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. Not a guru, just a fellow Gen Xer, a few steps ahead, who guides you through the mindset shifts, money moves, and digital strategies that helped him leave the grind behind and start living free. If you're tired of feeling stuck and know there's more life to live, this show is your roadmap to building the second half comeback you deserve. Let's create, escape, travel, and live.
Hey, what's up? What's up? This is your man Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. Guys, welcome to this episode of Freedom After 40. If you're a first-time viewer, I want to thank you for stopping by, checking out what we're doing over here. If you are a continued listener or viewer, I want to thank you for your support and your continued loyalty. All right, guys, so I got a couple things I want to talk to you guys about today. And even before we get started, let me go ahead for all the new listeners, all the new viewers, and just let you know what Freedom After 40 is. This is a show that I produce where I do a couple of things. One is I share my journey as a person, all right, that's considered a Gen X, right, out trying to put in place and build a life that sits on several pillars, okay? One is preparedness, all right, prepared for most I could be prepared for. One is self-reliance and one is freedom, right? So those are the three pillars that we focus on here, okay? And then also it's a place for me to share with other Gen Xers, all right? You know, us individuals that are aging well. So anybody from the age of 45 and up is who I focus on. Different ideals and frameworks that's going to help you. That's going to help you in the second part of your life. You know, here we don't believe in retiring. We believe in rewiring. So that means that you might have to go in and you might have to do some alchemy, right? Transform who you are. And a lot of times that takes a lot of planning and it takes a lot of work. And that's why, you know, I wanted to create a platform where I could just share with you guys different ideas, strategies, frameworks that I was using, that I was learning, and just kind of be that voice out there that can show you guys that there is another way of doing what you're doing. Okay. All right. So cool. So today I'm gonna cover a couple things on the show. One is we're going to talk about some updates over at my publishing company, Modern Frontier Publishing. And if you guys been rocking with me for a while, you know that's a company that I launched this year. Started working on it in January. It took me damn near all year, man, to get things together and get things figured out. And then here over the last couple months, we finally got to a point to where we were ready to start launching. And I got a lot of work to do with that. A lot of work to do with that. All right, a lot of work to do with that. It just said that I'm out of disk space locally, so I won't have a copy of this. All right, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. Let me go over here and just make sure my stream is good still. You know, you improvise, man. You improvise. That's one thing. You know, I always talk about the job I used to work at the manufacturing plant. But one thing that job taught me was how to deal with interruptions, things going wrong in real time, and how to quickly assess something and then make a decision to figure out how to keep going. You know, stopping was non-negotiable. That's something that we didn't do unless we had to do, right? And I took that away from that job, man. So that's one thing I can give props to that job for. It taught me how to be solution orientated, not problem focused. Okay. All right. So which one do I want to jump in first? Okay, so let me show you guys something here. All right. And as far as you guys who've been following me with the publishing company, I'm still pushing forward with everything. When I tell you there's a lot of things that I need to get done, guys, there's a lot of things that I need to get done. And you know the thing that's really holding me back, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. It's not anything that I can't do. It's not anything that I'm not willing to do. But I'm just totally disorganized right now. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. Totally disorganized. So one of the things I've been looking at is when I've been assessing where I'm at is I said, okay, look, over the next 3 to 5 days, I need to get in here and get everything organized, man. Get all my systems and everything cleaned up. Right now, if you were to look at my processes, you were looking at my computer, everything is unorganized. And I think in order for me to be able to properly build and manage what it is that I'm getting ready to try to do, I'm gonna need to be organized because I got a lot going on. Okay. And I don't need to be all over the place, you know, with my systems. Okay. So I need to get organized. So that's one thing I'm gonna be working on. Getting organized, guys. An organized mind is a good mind. A unorganized mind is chaos. It's very hard to manage and it's very hard to grow in an environment of chaos. And when you're unorganized, everything is chaotic. You're more reactive, all right, than taking action. Okay. In chaos, you can't be intentional. Again, you are responding and putting out fires. And so I understand the power of systems. I understand the powers of properly creating frameworks and just being consistent to work in your plan that you make. And so I'm gonna do that, guys. And I'm not gonna set no dates, but we're gonna say over the next 3 to 5 days, I'm gonna work on getting things organized. And then this is what I'm gonna do. Once I get things organized, I'm gonna show you guys what I did. And I'm gonna be organizing on several fronts. All right. Let me shut some of these windows down. That's part of my problem, man. I got a ton of freaking windows up, man. Come on, you don't need all these windows up. I'd be wondering why. I'd be confused on things, man. Got a ton of stuff. Get some of these doggone windows shut down so I don't feel so chaotic. All right. Man, I got a lot of windows up on this desktop. All right, so this is what I'm going to be doing right off the back. Okay. Right off the back. I'm going to be organizing my computers. Okay, get those organized. I'm going to be organizing my phones. All right. So my phones and my computers, everything's going to be organized, folders, things like that. So that way, when I go to my devices, I can easily find the information, the documents, the graphics that I need to find. Right now, you guys don't even want to see it. Okay. And by doing so, I think I'm going to be more productive and more effective, right? So I'm going to get that done. That's going to be good. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with my calendar. Now, I haven't decided if I'm going to use Notion or if I'm going to use the Apple calendar yet. All right. Definitely not Google. So it's going to be either Notion or Apple. And both of them have their pros about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a decision and then I'm going to roll with that. I'm going to get everything set up and get everything planned out. So since I control my time, I'm going to have a plan that I go in. If you've been following me for a while, you guys know I do this off and on. I'll go in, be unorganized, create a plan. All right, then schedule some things and do it for a while. Then not, typical stuff that entrepreneurs, creators do. But this time I'm gonna do different, guys. This time I'm gonna keep my promise to myself. I'm gonna stay consistent with it. And that's what 2026 is gonna be all about with me. It's just staying consistent with a lot of my processes. Okay. So we're going to be working on the scheduling and everything. So I'm going to get everything scheduled, planned, my times that I work, my times that I work out, which I'm not doing right now. I'm just going to schedule my life. Okay. And I'm going to either use Notion or Apple Calendar. And I'm going to use either Notion or Apple Notes. All right. I'll let you know which ones I do. I'm going to get that done. Okay. But then the other thing that I'm going to organize is my workflows. Okay, I feel like those are all over the place. I got a lot of things I'm trying to do, but I'm getting some things done and other things I'm not. So when it comes to the publishing company, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get some clarity and get a good, accurate picture on where I'm at with things, and then what I need to do and where I'm trying to go with that. And that's going to determine how that looks. And I'm going to share that with you guys. But then on the product side and the marketing side, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to organize what I'm doing with the whole social commerce game. So whether it's TikTok Shop Affiliate Program, UGC, or prepping to try to get into this live selling of these digital products. But I'm going to let you know where I'm at with that. And so you guys will be able to see all that. And then we're going to come up with a plan that we can work day by day on that. I have it all here, guys. I have ideas. I've been thinking about it. I've been doing certain things. So I know how this needs to run. But I haven't committed it to we're not going to say paper because it's going to be on the screen. But I'm going to get everything fleshed out and organized. So when I'm done with this, guys, when I'm done with this, everything is going to be organized. All my information systems, where I keep everything at on my computer, my schedule, my calendars, my workflows, the goals, the things that we're working towards, all that's going to be organized. And it's the reason why I got to do that. I got to do it because if I want to be effective and productive, I got to do it. Okay. Now, the other reason I got to do it is because I have so much that I want to complete that I've already started, and so much that I want to do when I get that completed, that the only way I can logically do it is I have to get organized. You know, I'm one of those people, man. I love to create. I love to think of ideas. I love to create. And so my business model is pretty much morphing into a business model that allows me to do that. Now, some of this other stuff I'm going to have to figure out, right? So let me kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about. So this year, we've created about 30 guides at at what's called Modern Frontier Publishing. It used to be Creative Vibe. All right, 30 guides, and I have them all over the place. I got them all over the place. Right. I've took about 7 of them and converted them over to ebooks. I still got to do all the remainder. All right, but as I do it, I got to look at the content and see if anything's changed, needed to be updated, or do we need to go in and rebuild it completely from the ground up based off of the information and the data that we have now, what we know now. So I gotta look at all that. But one of the things I'm trying to do, I would say between now and the first quarter of 2027, is to get all them guides converted over to ebooks. And you guys are seeing me kind of do it now. I'm doing it and then sharing with you guys the titles. All right. And sharing with you guys the titles as we do it. Now, as I get them done and I mark them off and I clear them, we're going to I'm starting making sure they get uploaded to the website and to the e-commerce store. Got to do that because I'm getting ready to start marketing the guides and the store. And in order for me to be effective, I got to have all this streamlined because of the way I'm supposed to do it. So on one side, I'm going to be promoting the whole store around my content. So around this podcast and another podcast I do, I'm going to be promoting the whole store. All right. But then also at the same time, I'm pulling certain guides out and I'm building out funnels for them. And I'm going to be actually promoting and marketing those guides through funnels. And then what's going to happen is once a lead gets in the funnel, then the funnel is what's going to introduce them. All right. It's what's going to introduce them to everything else. And speaking of funnels, guys, I got a funnel that I took down. I took it down. And I've built everything back up. All I have to do is get my domain to validate the correct way in the system that I got. And I'm having so many problems on doing this that it's crazy that it's taking me so long to get this done. All right. And that funnel is down. I want to use the funnel, but I cannot get that doggone funnel up. Get that domain to act right. I've never had this problem at all with the system or with these domains, man. And And this one is kicking my butt. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been trying to get that back up. And I thought I had it last night. And I just looked today, and the funnel is still not up. And I'm not sure why it keeps acting up. All right. But I'm ready for this funnel to be back up because I need for it to be up to start running some traffic to the funnel. All right, give me a minute. Let me see what's going on. All right, so it looks like it's okay there. Let me go check. Because sometimes when you go look at something, if you don't clear out your cookies, you're still looking at the old version of what you were looking at. I mean, I swear, guys, I swear. Now, I know it's not right, man, because if that's the case, this is pointing towards a ode. Okay, let me go ahead and do an income. So one of the ways of being able to test out a website is, if you don't want to run some cookies, just go incognito or do a private tab and go in. All right, let's see. All right, so that thing is not showing up. Okay. And for the life of me, I don't know why it's not showing up, but let's go do something. Let's go check something. All right, so give me a minute, guys. We're gonna build on something, but let me check something right quick because I have an idea what I think might be going on. Let me see if my idea is right. All right. I'm not real sure why it would. Okay, yeah. So I see what's going on. Wow. Are you serious? Okay, but anyway, all right, we're gonna rock and roll with it. I know how to fix it. I know how to fix it. Now I just don't know if it's gonna be instant. Okay, it should be. It might take a few minutes for it to get set up, but I figured out what it was. So that's a win. We'll take it as a win, and it's back up. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you guys this funnel. Okay, so you guys can know what a funnel is. So when you look at this, this is how I'm gonna later on after that show you guys the bookstore. All right, and then if you can imagine, like some of my main guides, like the Social Commerce Playbook and Launch the Content Creators Blueprint, those are all going to be marketed through funnels. Now, why a funnel? What does a funnel do? A funnel allows for me to be able to give away something free. We call this an ethical bribe to get a potential customer to give me their contact information. And in my case, I'm looking for a name and email address because the way I like to do is I don't like to sit around and do a lot of back and forth with people. So I rather build out what we call a funnel, which is a systematic way of being able to present some information to a potential customer. Inside of that funnel, you answer questions, you do walkthroughs, you do everything that you're going to need to do to give that person the best chance of understanding what it is that you're offering and all that, right? So you don't have to be going back and forth. Okay, but another thing it does is it eliminates you having to deal with rejection, and you don't got to do all that. All right, so what you do is you create a funnel. Now, a funnel is not just some pages. You're getting in, you're doing what we call copyright, and you're creating strong hooks or titles, and you're having a good story or what we call an offer. You're doing call to actions. You're doing sequential marketing. All right, so it's all a science to it. But this is the thing. Once you get a funnel set up and you get it dialed in, then you can start really pushing some traffic to it. And in my case, I'm going to be doing two types of traffic. One is organic, which is regular content that I put out there. And I don't do too good with organic. I'm not even going to lie. For some reason, man, people don't like me. All right. I think I have a good sense of humor. I think I bring a lot of value, but I don't get a lot of engagement online. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know, everybody can't do it, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running what we call paid ads. So I know my content and my funnels are good. All right, but just for some reason I can't get discovered, get attention the way that I want to get it. So I'm gonna be running paid ads. So part of this year is going to be me working with Vic, my AI genius, and we're going to be working with me to learn paid ads. I already had Vic create me a course, right, a manual, and we're going to have it for sale. He created it for me so I can actually go in and learn how to do paid ads. Okay, and that's one of the cool things of training your AI a certain way. They can always go get the latest information on how to do something, and they can compile it into a guide or a course for you. All right. All right. But anyway, I'm going to be running paid ads to these funnels. Now, I like that. I like it because it allows for me to be able to generate traffic to a funnel quickly. All right. It allows me to be able to test. Then once I get things dialed in, then it's just a matter of throwing money at the funnel, because you create a ratio. You know that, okay, for every number of people that you get to this page, they're going to opt in to get to the next page, and every person that goes to that page will get to the checkout page. So when you get done, you might say, okay, I need to get 30 people to opt in to my funnel in order to produce a sale. Now, in this funnel, I'm going to be showing you guys, this is a product that I didn't create through my publishing company. It's a product that I bought the rights to resell through my publishing company. So this is a $900 product right now, and it's fixed to go up to a $1,300 because they got another training tier now. So inside of this particular product, I have a $100 product, a $300 product, a $600 product, and a $900 product. In all four of those products, they get training and they get access to a 56,000 person community where they can go in and they can learn a lot of different strategies around digital marketing and leveraging social media. Okay, so let's look at that funnel, and then you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. All right, and I love doing this part, man. I love getting in and teaching. All right, so I'm sharing my screen with you guys, and you guys should be looking at my handsome face. Okay, so this is the doorway to my funnel. It's what we call an opt-in page. Discover the step-by-step blueprint to escape the 9-to-5 and build freedom on your terms. Join 57,000 plus creators building income online with our proven system, complete with weekly coaching, expert training, and a community that's got your back. All right. And then I'm giving away a free report called the Freedom Formula Blueprint. They put their information in there. They do this. Okay. We're going to walk through. We're going to create a fake name. So we're going to be Charles today. And our last name is going to be Darwin. All right. Charles Darwin. All right. Then we're going to say, get my free blueprint. Okay. So now this is what you call a bridge page or a thank you page. So basically, this is a page that I created right around a minute and a half video where I introduce myself. And I just kind of frame what else they're going to see inside this funnel. So that's me there. And then I have some social proof down here where some of the people who are in our community are talking about, their wins, how much money they made and stuff, using the information, the strategies, and the systems that we teach you inside there. All right. And then I have my contact information there. Then I have a way for them to connect with me on Facebook. And then also to view a webinar that the founder of the community put together, Michelle, who's made about $5 million in the last couple of years. And so our whole community and system is built off of what she'd done to make that $5 million. So that's what this is over here.
A done for you business.
They can click on that, and then they'll go through the process of watching that. Now, everything in this funnel is intentional. Everything from the titles, the hooks, the headlines, the video, everything we created with conversions in mind. So again, more social proof here, people making money, bam. All right. So that's where so let's go ahead and fix this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this while you guys are live. I'm gonna show you how to do this stuff. All right, so we're gonna go back to funnel list. All right, and we're gonna go sales page. Because what it is now, that domain is not connected to there anymore. Okay, so we're gonna reconnect that domain to there. All right, so we're gonna put that domain back there. All right, and that should fix all my pages again. Okay, and we're gonna test it out. All right, we're gonna go to the sales page and see if it did it. Okay. All right, so here's the sales page that you should have came to after that page there. All right, and it's going to be all fixed in the funnel now. I have to go back in. All right, so this page again, we spent a lot of money to get this page designed. Everything from the colors to the text is all documented. In the last 12 months, over $30 million was generated for our community using this exact funnel. All right, so a lot of money was made pushing people to this funnel. Okay, and there are some pictures of my AI twin there, having me looking pretty good. All right, information there, and just a really, really high converting, good sales page. Okay, so that's a funnel, guys. Just wanted to give you guys, and like when they click on here, It'll take them to checkout pages for the different products, and they can purchase. Even my $900 product, if they can't pay the $900, there's a way that they can pay something like $50 a month. Okay, and they can jump on it, and they can do that and study doing that. Okay, so we do have like Klarna, Afterpay. We have different services that they can jump in and pay. All right, this one right here is right off the bat, 4 installments for interest-free payments of $225, no interest, or they can stretch it out longer, over a year. All right, 18 months, you can go and go live. All right, so just kind of wanted to show you guys that so you can see what I was talking about when I said I got to build these funnels around these products. Okay, so what I'm working on now, I'm working on taking all my guides and getting the ones that I got finished uploaded to our e-commerce store, to our bookstore, all right, to our publishing site. Then as I'm doing that, I'm going to be taking one guide right now, which is the social commerce playbook. And we're going to be building out a funnel for it, just like you just seen there. And that's for me to be able to start really marketing that guide. Now, I'm going to be doing a combination of organic and paid ads to it. So the way it's going to really work is that I'm going to go out and I'm going to create content that looks like content, but it's going to be ads. And I'm going to put it out there. All right. And then once I see it starting to get views and engagement, then I'm going to take and throw some money behind it as an ad. So it will start off at first as an organic piece of content, which is a free piece of content. And once it starts showing some life, then I'll throw a little money behind it and we'll test it, and then we'll ramp it up from there. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, another thing that we got to do is we got to get all the courses and trainings that we made, but we don't have it in ebook format. We got to get them converted over to ebook. And realistically, I'm going to give myself to the end of the first quarter of next year to do it. Because a lot of stuff that we created is what we call evergreen. It lasts us forever. It wasn't built around trends. Some of the stuff was built around trends. So we'll have to go in. And what we usually do is, and this is what we've done with the other ones, as we're taking the content over from the old format and putting it in the ebook format, we still look at the content to make sure that it's relevant and we don't need to rebuild it. If we need to recreate it, then we recreate it while we're transferring things over. Now, I'm going to be doing that. Now, like I said, between what I did at first and what we worked on the last 4 months, because I think we created like another 7 of them over the last 4 months, I'm going to be getting all those converted over and get them up on the store. Okay. And let me show you guys what the store looks like in case you guys have never been over there to the store. All right, I'm going to take you over there. Now, this is a work in progress too, because right now I have the e-commerce portion set up. So we can add our guides, everything, checkout pages, sales pages, all that set up. Now, in the future, this is going to have a blog on there, a place for me to be able to post and create and post a lot of content of value for people to read. All right, we're going to have a brandable newsletter, okay, that's going to go out to our leads, and that's going to be from Modern Frontier. All right, and then we have it set up to have a community on the back end, so a lot of our customers will be able to join the community, and they'll be able to network and just build and talk and communicate with other like-minded individuals who are doing the same thing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna transfer you guys over there. And guys, I know it. This is going to be a long one again, guys. If you don't like long content, then you're not going to do good with my content, because all my content is long. Because we haven't even got into the training for today, what we're going to be talking about on the podcast. Okay. All right. So you're over here at Modern Frontier. Okay. So you come over there, you see my AI twin, and then you see the 2 guides that I'm highlighting right now are at the top. We have a sign up for our newsletter, and then we have some of the other guides there. And if you guys notice, we stay on brand with our colors, the way our guides are set up, because we're not a course creator. We are a publisher. Okay. So we are a publishing company. And then basically the way this works is if a person wants to get more information on that particular guide, they click on it. And then we have like a sales page for each guide. where we walk them through and we give them more information and stuff. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing here is adding some video to this. So that way I can explain certain things in this. And then if you were curious about what the blog looks like, this is just one post that I have. So imagine 3 of them here. Then as you go down, it's just rows. And all the person has to do is click on here. And then they can pull that up and read whatever content that we have there. And this is going to allow me to have a place to be able to dump a lot of content and stuff that I want to dump that up until now I've been putting on social media, but I could put it on something that we own and control, which is our own asset, our own website. So I'm going to be doing that here. Okay. And yeah. So first quarter, try to have all that done. Okay. Now, one of the things I'm gonna have to do is stop making. Okay. So we're not gonna too much make anything else, all right, to after first quarter. Because we got more than enough. Like I told you, we just created 7 new guides over the last 4 months that I got sitting right now inside the computer that we haven't even formatted or anything. Yes, I'm not creating anything else. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's that. All right. You guys know I got the 2 podcasts. I got this one here, which is Freedom After 40. And then I have another one that I'm doing on TikTok called Commerce Gone Social. All right. And basically with that one, all I do is talk about social commerce. With this one, I pretty much have this one set up for me to talk about a lot of things, a lot of general things such as everything I'm doing, just different strategies, productivity, self-reliance, and just cover a lot of different things with you guys. So that's one thing I'm gonna be working on and doing. Okay, so gonna get all that taken care of. All right, gonna get it all taken care of. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Get all that taken care of. All right, so we're gonna be doing that. Okay, so let's talk about what the topic is today. And I've been really thinking about this, guys. I really have. Because I've been thinking about it in my own personal life. And I was thinking about it, I said, yeah, this is something I talked about before on some of my past podcasts. And it's something that I believe that I need to just keep talking about. Because if you don't get this and you don't abide by this, then you're going to have some issues out here when it comes to being competitive in today's world, in today's landscape, man. You're going to really have some issues. You're not going to be able to compete. I mean, you're not going to be able to compete at all. Okay? So basically, high value skills. What I try to stress to anybody and everybody right now is that you need to be putting your head down and learning as much as you can about certain strategies, tactics, or acquiring certain skill sets that are going to allow you to bring value to the marketplace. And what we're going to see and what we're seeing right now is this gap being created. Okay. And you got your everyday person that gets up, goes to a 9 to 5, does their job, is an expert at what they do. Right. But the problem with that's singular focus. There's no preparedness there. There's no self-reliance there. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't own that job. You don't own it. So any day you can get up and that can be taken away from you. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is okay, if that was to happen, what do I know? What do I possess that I can take to the marketplace and be able to put value out there where somebody's willing to pay me for that? Whether it's another employer, whether it's a customer or a client. And you should be able to very clearly articulate what that is. And if you can't, then you have a problem, right? You have a deficit that you need to fill. So that means that you don't have a skill set that has high value that you could take to the marketplace. Okay. If that's the case, then you need to start acquiring that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you guys about what I believe are some high value skills out here. And some of them might not seem as solidly defined as others. But even still, they're high value skills. Okay. We're going to go with the soft ones first, and then we'll go to the hard ones. Okay. And some of them might overlap. So if they overlap, then I'll make sure that we're okay. So what are some high value skills that I think, especially Generation X, man, that we need to be gathering and putting in place and having? All right, hold on one second, guys. Just need to make sure my mic was still working. All right, always be learning. That's a skill. You know, I tell people when you wake up in the morning, you need to have the mindset that every day you're going to learn something from anything and everything that you do. And you need to frame your day by expecting that in your day. Okay? So if you expect it, then guess what? It'll show up. But you need to be always learning. All right? Everything you're doing, everything you're figuring out, everything you're going through has a lesson there. Start developing the skill of being able to extract that lesson out of anything. All right? That's what we call a high value skill, because then that allows for you to learn and level up from everything around you. It's not just ideal things, it's everything that's around you. All right? Thinking is a high value skill. You'll be surprised how many people do not engage or properly engage in the process of thinking. A lot of people make mental assessment and they call it thinking, right? But you got to learn how to think, man. The human brain is one of the most powerful machines on earth, more powerful than any computer, more powerful than any AI. The human brain is. And so, in order for you to be able to continuously compete out here and to level up and to hold ground for you and your family, you got to learn how to think. All right. And that's going to lead us to the next skill, planning. Now, planning is the highest form of thinking. And you might be asking yourself, okay, Orville, what is planning? Planning is assigning purpose to your time. See, think about that. Some people get up and every day they just go through life. They just go through life. All right. Whatever life deals them that day is what they accept and what they take. And then you have others that are very intentional. I mean, they sit down, they think about life, and they say, okay, well, look, this is what I want life to look like. This is what I want to do. And they go about the process of orchestrating that. Okay. They plan. All right. So one of the high value skills that you can have is planning. Okay. Now here's another one for you guys. Thinking and frameworks. All right. Thinking and frameworks. All right. Thinking and frameworks. And I'm going to show you something. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I got to try to remember which one it was. Okay. I think it was this one here. All right. So we're going to pull that one up and we're going to shut this one down. Okay. Almost did it. Okay. So here's a framework. What is a framework? All right. A framework is the simplest way to represent how something works. All right. It's the simplest way to represent how something works. All right. That's a framework. Okay. Jumping all around my slides. Let me get back to the one I was on. Okay. That's a framework. The simplest way to represent how something works. All right. So we said that thinking in frameworks. So this is what I think about when I think about frameworks. Frameworks are like microsystems. Okay. So this is what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. That's a framework. Okay. So you need to learn how to think in frameworks. Look at everything you're doing and analyze it from a process standpoint. Okay. Why am I getting this result? How did I get it? What are the steps for me to get it? And then how can I improve that? How can I protect that? How can I, you guys follow what I'm saying? And then as you think in frameworks, you're going to start creating systems. And systems are collections of frameworks. Now, one of the things I used to always tell my guys at work was Systems are very important because they give you a blueprint for how to manifest a result. Without systems, you can't consistently produce and manifest a result, right? Because if you know that you need to go forward, then right, then left, then go down 10 and turn right to get to your destination, there's no way in the world you're going to get to it by going backwards first, then going 10 down, 20 across, then 3 up, 3 back. All right. There's going to be no consistent way at achieving that earlier result or getting to that destination, right? That's why systems are important. And you know, James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. All right, let me see if I can pull him up here, guys. I'm just shooting off the fly right now. We're gonna see. All right, this is something that he put out in his book Atomic Habits, which is a really good book. If you guys haven't read it, go grab it. All right, he said, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. All right, really think about what he's saying there. You do not rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. All right, you fall to the level of your systems. See, what James Clear is saying there is that the way you build a strong structure is you have to build a strong foundation. And in this case, anything that you do or achieve or accomplish is all built off of process, aka systems and frameworks. And if you want to get to where you're trying to get to, it's not about writing down where you're trying to get to and how you're going to get there. It's about taking action and building the frameworks and the systems to get you there. So that way, when you're tired, when your emotions are crazy, when you done got into despair or you're facing a lot of adversity, you don't give up. Because it's not about that to you. It's about you sticking to your systems. Okay? So creating systems. Now, another high value skill set is action taking. And this is one that we all struggle with, man. Because it's easier to talk about what you're going to do than it is to do it for a lot of people, man. And if that wasn't the case, more people would be out here chasing their dreams, rehabbing their lives. But they're not. Because for a lot of people taking action, man, it requires too much, man. They got to be willing to mentally assess that they have a chance at failing in front of people. So a lot of people, that's going to take them out the game. They're not even going to compete. Some people don't like leaving out their comfort zone, so they're not going to take action. A lot of people are lazy. A lot of people walk around in unbelief that they can accomplish anything that they put their minds to. And it's all these screwy thoughts and poor habits and bad belief systems that hold a lot of people back from taking action. But action taken is one of the highest level skills you can get. All right. It's considered a superpower to me. Okay. And it's something that you need to master. All right. Then the other thing is mastering consistency. And we all have this problem. I was just telling you guys at the beginning of this podcast that this is one of my downfalls. Staying consistent. And mine is not because I get beat up by doing what I'm doing. It's the lack of attention, all right, the attention span thing. All right. And that's something that I have to work on. But in order for you to go deep, in order for you to become good, in order for you to be able to work through a lot of things and come out on the other end as a winner, you have to be consistent. All right, you got to have that muscle developed to get up and do it over and over and over again until you hit your result. All right. Now, last but not least, this is a formula I borrowed from one of my mentors in this MLM company I was in. All right, he had this concept: plan, do, review. All right, you create a plan, you go execute it. That's the doing part. And then you come back to the table and review your results. And if you didn't hit the results that you wanted, then you ask yourself why. Then you modify your plan and you go back and do it again. And you keep running through this framework, plan, do, review until you hit your goals. All right. And this is a very, very powerful framework, guys. I've used this at my job, used it at home, and it works. Sit down, do that highest form of thinking, plan. All right. Then we said that we're going to develop those muscles around action taking. You're going to get out and take some action. You're going to do the thing. All right. But then you're going to measure, track, and document what you're doing. All right. That's your review part. You're going to have a meeting with yourself. You're going to look down and say, okay, this worked, this didn't work, I did good. And you're going to modify and make your adjustments there. And you're going to keep doing that until you go out here and you accomplish all your goals. All right. So I was going to give you guys a whole nother set of high value skills, but I think we're going to stop here because we're already deep into this episode. It's already 45 minutes long. What I'll do is tomorrow we'll finish with part 2. I'll go over the other list of what I call more hard skills, more tangible ones that you can wrap your mind with. Okay. All right. So if you guys need to make this list, just pause it, take a screenshot of it, and then you have the list. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, rocking with you guy. I really, really appreciate it. Again, if you're a first-time viewer, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you are a continued viewer, I want to thank you for your continuous support. All right. Orville J. Parker, a.k.a. Coach. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to Freedom After 40, where it's never too late to build something new. If today's episode hit home, do me a favor and share it with a fellow Gen Xer who's ready to make their move. And don't forget to grab your free Freedom Blueprint at LearnDigitalToday.com. It's the first step to designing your new life. Until next time, keep building, keep dreaming, and remember, freedom isn't a fantasy, it's a plan.